Alright guys, here we're going to talk about Season 2, Episode 19 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I Only Have Eyes for You.
Now, what's the title of the episode? No.
I like this episode. I think when I first saw it, I was like, it's kind of slow, this one.
This episode's dope.
But there's so much going on here.
Yes.
So from the jump, you have Buffy trying to fake the funk. She's in the she's in the bronze and just hanging out. And some boy, a good old-fashioned boy, approaches her and is all respectful and nice.
And he reverse asks her to the Sadie Hawkins
Yes.
dance. Where I'm like, hey, okay.
Well, it sets up the episode is going to be the Sadie Hawkins dance. She's like, okay, cool. And she rejects him because she's not ready to date ever, and that I can understand that. And just going from there to
the smash cut
Yes.
from sometimes love's nice, and then it's bang to the couple arguing back at the school.
Exactly.
I was like, filmmaking, we're doing it. Yes.
This super dramatic, almost play style
it was like
argument.
a school play. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have there the janitor guy in this episode. He's famous. You recognize him?
No.
He's from King Straggler, the band. He's in that. He's also an actor. He's on Deadwood. He's
Whose idea was it to have these
famous.
peaches? Okay, word.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So I like him. So I was like, oh, cool. But sees this whole thing go down, and you see a gun kind of vanish.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, what are we in for here? Some sort of a phantom, piece?
Some sort of phantom menace.
Yeah.
Yes.
So already you're like, okay, I like that. I like
Yeah.
ghosty shit, which is I think what you could infer from that moment, that something's
Well,
happening.
and
some
shortly
sort of a possession.
thereafter, Giles is like, well, it seems like a poltergeist. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And you're like, all right, we're doing a little, okay.
I do think it goes in some interesting directions, where it does go into almost too extreme poltergeist zone for what was actually happening.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
For how this is these lovers who died unexpectedly in this thing, I accidentally shot her and then killed myself. To have mummy hands coming out of lockers and Willow getting sucked into a vortex from hell, things like that. We're what would have happened if she got sucked in there? Where would she have gone? Would she just been one floor down, or would she be in hell?
Nope,
I don't know.
Dead forever.
The zombie-ish boyfriend thing.
I like that a lot.
I like that, and
Yeah,
he
the
seems
look
to be
was good.
warning her. He's get out, says these things, and you were expecting there's gonna be some cool twist, but there isn't. So if I were to rewrite this, retool this,
he hates the episode.
The ghost would actually have been a younger girl who had the crush on that boy, and he it would show these things of this relationship between a student and the teacher, and then somebody else who was pining for this kid, that bitch, she just wouldn't let us be. She had to overstep her bounds.
That would explain like Buffy's POV to see them both when she does the weird Slayer visions that she has as usual, right?
Because she appeared just as a person in that she should have been somebody else, and that's what I think would have been cool.
Observing the couple.
Yeah.
She sees them after class when they're theoretically alone, right? In 1955. Yeah.
So to have somebody watching through the window would have been interesting. I think it would have been just this nice little thing no, he's trying to warn you, get out of here, she's a murderer, that person killed the girl and killed him and then made it look like a thing, and then
and framed him.
Yeah.
Now we have to quantum leap and make it right.
Well, and then maybe he's stuck in the thing, but this girl from 1955 is still alive. How do we solve it? We've got to make it right. Snapping grannies.
All right.
Yeah.
I liked what it is that.
Oh no, I liked what we got.
Because the fucking
really the ending is what makes it.
This is, oh my god, when Buffy and Angel reenact the thing that you've seen a million times before, and it's a gender bent version of it.
I wrote that.
Oh, it's woke as fuck from so long ago, and it's laid on so thick, it's so good, and their acting is great, their faces and stuff. I'm this is amazing, and it serves that dual purpose. This brilliant, because people, if you look up Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it's it revolutionized TV. You see, it was doing thing of the week while simultaneously doing the overarching stuff. And I'm okay, yes, but this is a third layer where it's
it's emotional inception.
But how do we get Buffy and Angel to walk through this weird thing when Buffy's so closed off and Angel's a fucking monster? How do we revisit their conflict or their relationship? Good, have them both be possessed by lovers who died
But
tragically.
it works on every level where
so
all the
good.
things they're saying saying are appropriate to those actual
for the
characters.
audience to hear them say.
It's done in such a way where it's like, I was like, oh yes. So having that gender bend, the swap role reversal, not only is brilliant because it's just better like viewing, but it allows the cycle to get broken because you can shoot Angel and he doesn't die.
Yeah, okay. So that's like the fourth layer. Is like, how do you break the whatever thing, right? Because Angel just wakes up, but he's still possessed. It's crazy. Oh my god, it's so good. No, like because like and they remember what happened to them.
Yes.
So
Angel trying to scrub off the love.
And it teaches Buffy that like maybe her attitude of like, no, fuck that, no forgiveness, nothing ever. And you know now she's been through this from James's point of view. Oh my god, this to me is like one of my top episodes. The idea, like, do you know how the community feels about this episode? Do they love it?
I think it's decently liked.
Well, sometimes you say this is a famously hated episode. This is a beloved episode, right? Is this just like
the whole thing? Like, and you touched on it there. Like throughout the episode, she has this like emotional connection to the situation, much like Giles does, but in a different direction. While Giles has latched on with, oh, it must be Jenny, she's latched on this idea, it was that guy, that scumbag piece of shit, no one deserves what, like, and it does, like, get over that thing, like Giles' thing of like, oh no, I respect your opinions and want you to always challenge me, except for right now, you're completely wrong, I'm always right.
That was amazing, because like it's such a long shot where he goes like, yes, challenge authority, and I don't want to discourage that, and then he goes to leave and comes back and says, except for now, and I am obviously right, and you are wrong. Yeah, and he does another thing, not as extreme, but like him and Willow, he's like sitting again, and he's not sobbing like he was, with Buffy, but you can see his body language. He's like defeated, like, because Willow says something like, I don't think it's Jenny, and he's like, yes, I know, it's not Jenny.
Yeah, she wouldn't be this cruel.
Right, she wouldn't be this mean to us, and it's like, I don't know. The whole premise of like the crazy ghost, but still, yes.
I love like like she and Willow's killing it as a teacher.
Oh my
She's
God.
like knocking it out of the park. Like she should already be like, I'll just graduate her. She's a teacher now.
That's one of my first notes is like, how could she take off all of her other stuff to become a teacher? And like what? And like we will get to this, but like what principal is being like, yeah, you can just teach the class who like knew the dead teacher and is like traumatized.
The same school that would continue the next day after a teacher was shot at the school.
Exactly.
I was like, wait a minute, what? There's not like an emotional response thing where we have like counselors and stuff, and the day is completely off to like scrub blood out of the porcelain, like something. That's strange.
Yes.
But yes, so like Snyder, who's back. We haven't seen Snyder in quite a while, and he is back triumphantly to also connect with that cop again and say like, we're on a hellmouth, Chuck.
He said the thing. I've been saying this every time. I feel so validated. I feel so like I'm like yes, and that's not even. I still love the episode even with that. This and there's like one or two extra things too that are just gravy to me. I already thought that the core was so good, but for him to be like, we're on a hellmouth. What do you expect? I'm like, they know. And then he's like, the city council called you in specifically to address these problems. So like Snyder's like the hitman. He comes in to like knock it out. And he's gonna,
well, and keep it goes even higher because it says you don't have to deal with the mayor.
Yes.
So you're like, okay, so now we know that
the mayor, who's obviously a demon,
everybody in charge knows stuff. Apparently, and we'll see where that goes.
So
which is all happens because snakes are replace all the spaghetti, and you're like, wait, what?
My spaghetti! It's a hissing.
It's a snake.
It's a biting me. No.
Angry spaghetti.
Angry spaghetti. On like the lunch menu, it's like hamburgers, meatloaf, whatever. Angry spaghetti. Okay.
But that's fun.
But he has to do like the backed up sewer thing. Now my next question is like, why is he being so weird and hard on like Buffy? Is it possible that he knows about the Hellmouth but not about the Slayer? That doesn't make any sense. How is there no connective tissue there? You know the answer to these things, so I'm not gonna look at your face as like a spoiler, or like I can tell if you're smiling like a certain way. But now I'm like wondering about that. Because I've had phase 1 confirmed, but now it's phase 2. Given what I know, how does that make sense with his behavior? Like right in the very beginning, he has an awesome line: "You stink of lies," something like that, like Buffy. And he's so hard on her, and he says stuff like, "I'm gonna look into this, and I'm gonna keep looking into this until I see how it's all your fault." Like he's just brutal to her.
Well, there's like another angle to look at this thing too, where like, well, Giles is a member of the Watchers Council here, and like you'd think they would know if there was some like oh no, that they, of course, any town with a hellmouth, they send in like the Vatican puts their bylaws in charge, and we don't seemingly have anything like that.
I know.
So like if he doesn't know about them, it could make sense that they don't know about her.
But now I'm like, how and why?
Sure.
Are they bad? I don't know.
And that's another way you could look at it. Where like if they were bad, maybe he'd be hard on her because you're good.
Yes.
and these are all
keep
things.
messing with my plans.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like
Can't
that
wait.
it's got legs.
Can't
At the
wait.
very least, it's a fun little thing to like a juicy dangler to have in the episode because it's such a small little nothing in this grand episode.
And as you say, perfect. We haven't seen him in a few episodes.
Yes, I imagine he was just doing Star Trek and shit at this time, so we didn't have.
But it's not like we have this constant drumbeat of like something's up. It's not like playing dark music and he's like going through his drawers and it's like, why are you here? Why are you here? It's he just hasn't been here. It's great. And then he shows up doing his usual stuff, and then we go, I don't know, the sewer's backed up. They're not gonna believe that. It just happened in Sacramento. Whatever. Throws out his thumb. Whatever. Somewhere close to there. Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. It's great.
I like that. I like we get Spike steps out of the wheelchair for the first time in like 5 episodes or whatever. So like that's cool.
Revealing he's been tricking them. Why? Oh, it's so good. And like the whole episode, Angel's just like brutally antagonizing Spike.
Oh yeah.
Does not let up for a second. And just Marsden's face just staring at him like, yeah, mate, I hate you, whatever. But like doesn't call him out.
He
just
says
waiting.
you gotta roll with the punches. I guess you'll be good at that or something like that. And I'm like, you're genius.
No, yeah, there's like a bunch of puns. Oh, come on, take a stand, do whatever, blah, blah, blah. Hit the stairs, get out. He keeps throwing all these things out just to like fuck with him. He's all over Drew. It's like, it's like so angry, so like cucking to Spike.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what his plan is or what's going on because it ends on that, right? He stands up and kicks the wheelchair like, but then it's like, what's happening? He's just gonna get chased
I believe
up?
he's totally burn free at this point.
That's been like getting better every time, right? So yeah, I think he's like more or less.
Eyebrow scar more pronounced than ever though. They're really fine tuning that bitch.
That's his trademark.
And I like it. Something I did not like was
impossible.
Like, of course Willow's a great teacher, but she says I'm a great teacher because she had great lesson plans in her computer. I'm like, Angel destroyed that computer unless it was like another computer.
No, it's a centralized server.
I don't know.
It's just a thing.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked, like, since she was digging through everything, like, for her to find that floppy this episode.
Or just have it in, like, a pile of stuff
so
we know.
Something.
I hope she doesn't do anything. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Might have been good. Things that I thought were...
Well, hold on, because Willow, I am cheating, because I have seen parts of this show, so I know Willow becomes some sort of like witch warlock thing or whatever.
Yes, I didn't want to mention this in case you did not know those things.
No, but in the intro theme, when there's a squealy guitar bit, Willow's like doing this, and there's like light in her face and stuff, and I'm like, Willow's casting a spell in the beginning of every episode, I think.
Well, they do mention she checked out her like techno-pagan websites, and that was her first foray into the magical arts and whatnot.
But this episode, like officially now, yes, she drops that line, and then she makes the charms for everybody, and I'm like, okay. She makes the spatulas.
Ooh, is that made of sulfur?
Yes. Oh, good choice. Yeah. So like Giles is like acknowledging, because this whole time, I've been like, and Willow's the hacker, and in my head I'm like, she's not. That's not her thing. It's hacking. It's like whatever.
She's that thing too.
No, yes, she's that thing too. But I knew her more so as like we have to do the ritual or I have to do the thing or whatever. So this episode goes full on black candles, weird chanting and doing stuff, and I'm like, they're doing the thing. It's great. She's learning from the techno-pagans.
Speaking of great, I love Cordelia's face. Well, she gets bit by a snake at one point. We were like, oh shit. But then she's looking at it in the mirror and like it turns like horrible, and that's her big thing. You're like, I'm vain or whatever. I thought that was good. I didn't like the bees. I was like, bees.
So I didn't know they were bees at first. Until Angel says, thing about wasps is they don't care for the undead. I was like, I thought they were flies or something. I had no idea what they were. I just saw this cloud of shit.
Yeah, for the time, not bad. Fine. But I was just like, did it have to be that? I guess. What makes you leave quickly? I guess bugs of some sort.
They needed something and like a weird energy, because this is the whole thing of like, well, the building is covered in goop, but then when I walk up, it parts and lets me in. The whole thing. But yes, on a budget, on a like compressed time scale, the whole episode has to fit in so much that things feel like we gotta go send her back to the school. Why? She saw a thing. I don't know. And she goes. Right, it's very whatever. Yeah.
Did you recognize the kid that plays like the 1950s love interest?
I've never recognized anybody in my life.
He was like one of the main characters from Harper's Island. He played one of the main characters on Insatiable, a show we talked about for a while.
Nope.
He was one of the other Bobs, gay romance.
Got nothing.
Whatever. But
are you a fan of this chap? Is this one of his?
I do like him. Okay. I like whenever you see a character like, I know you from a lot of things. In this episode, had 2 people like that. You're like, okay,
well, cool. So like throughout the episode, you get to see the same dialogue and scene done by multiple people.
Even written one time in like Cognito by a teacher.
Yes, which is awesome because he's talking about Anyway, so yes, I think it's not until the very end when you see the actual James, who's the person you're talking about, right, doing it, and I did think he did a very good job.
Yeah.
Right? So so you're cutting between Buffy and Angel and the actual people now doing it, because they picked people who kind of looked like them for the cold open version of it, and it kind of cheapened it for me until you got to see the finale when you have like the two best versions of it. I'm like, oh shit! So I did like him in this.
They recorded their version first so that every other actor could watch it and try to copy their mannerisms.
The real
and stuff.
people?
Yeah.
Yes, awesome.
The 1950s version of people.
Yeah. I actually want to see the uncut just Buffy and Angel doing everything though, because they kept cutting away, and I was like, do those parts suck? Because like some of those lines, I was like, I want to see Angel saying that. Oh my god! Like, yeah.
No, it was good. Like, it was powerful.
When that guy goes back to like shoot himself, the look on his face, I was like, you're cool. Like elevating the material.
He's an actor-ass actor.
Right, exactly.
Last things I just want to make sure I mention are two lines that jumped out at me in this episode. You have Drusilla say like, "Oh, I might dig myself a burrow, but your dress would get all dirty, love. Oh, just sleep naked." I thought that was just like how her whole like she's back to being a bird, like, and I like that. I like Willow.
I was like, oh, fan service, like sexy time. Now we get to pick, and she's really excited about being naked in the dirt, and I'm like, oh no, problematic childhood boners are coming back to me now. Yes.
Willow at one point says like, we gotta do the ultimate solution or the final solution or something, and Xander's like, we have to nuke the school, and then he gets like excited.
Yeah, there's a whole thread where they're like, well, I guess school can open, and he's like, now wait, why is this a good thing? Like, hold on, we had a way to cancel school. What are you guys doing? Come on.
No, ultimately, this is a fun episode.
I love this episode.
It's great because it progresses the plot. It's fun for the characters. There's great acting. It has like all the things you really need in a good Buffy episode.
From like every perspective, I feel like this is a great episode. If it's not rated highly, I think that the fans of this show are idiots.
I like it even more this viewing than I think like my first viewings, because like certain things are like you appreciate more when you're like I understand what went into this. Like,
so like you see it coming and you're like, oh, it's that one. I don't know about that one, and then you actually
well, because in '98 I would have been like, can we get a monster? What's this love story crap? Like
happy ghost time. What is this? Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh shit.
With your mature old man
like,
eyes.
Oh, she had to wake up from being in like this trance. My body is taken over in a kiss with this fucking monster that she hates now.
Dude, and then Angel just like roaring and like running away.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. This is great. This is a great episode.
All right, guys. So that's pretty much everything that happens in this episode. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next week for season 2, episode 20.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.